Oh, yes. Welcome into Pitchfork Lunch. Happy Thursday to everybody here in, happy Thursday to everybody, but in Sun Devil Nation, yes, it is a happy Thursday. I am Michael Caratenuto at Diablo00 is where you can find me on Twitter as we go around Sun Devil Nation as we speak. Like I mentioned, this whole week so far, the Lady Sun Devils are in Memphis, the Beale Street Invitational or Tournament. What did they call it? The Beale Street Classic? I want to get it right. I think I only said it all week. But the Beale Street Challenge. Pardon me. I knew it was with the C. But nonetheless, they are up 2-0 on Memphis. And looking to keep their record unblemished. They took the first set 25-10, just dominated. And then the second set, a little closer. Memphis made their adjustments. So hats off to the Tigers, who in the third set now, down 2-0 are up 7-6. So there's a live update for you. So they're at the Beale Street Challenge, like I said, taking on Memphis today, and then Little Rock tomorrow and Southern Miss on Saturday. So they again have their work cut out for them, but up 2-0, like I said, took the first set 25-10, then took the second 25-22. Man, Marta Levisko, we talked about her, and obviously as the show goes on, I'll talk about this match, but not only leading the team in kills, but is in the top 10 in the country, while leading the team in aces as well. But in the top 10 in the country in aces coming into this. So, yes, I know I've talked about her. I talked about from a team standpoint, but, I know this stuff, and I kind of buried the headline. By the way, speaking of burying the headline in the excitement of how they started the season, talking to Coach Van Neal, but this is the 50th anniversary of volleyball at Arizona State. So when they open up conference play next weekend at home, Thursday again, taking on Arizona in the Territorial Cup, but Sunday they are taking on the Huskies, and there's going to be a lot of alumni out there. So the 50th anniversary of Sun Devil Volleyball. Yes, 1973, the first year. And so next week, we're going to aim to have some of those alumni on that I actually, when I covered the Arizona Community College Athletic Conference, junior college sports, Coach Stuck, Lisa Stuck, has been at Glendale. She's won a national title at Glendale, but one of the greats in Sun Devil history. So I'm going to reach out to her, see what her schedule. Obviously, she's still coaching at Glendale Community College, which is phenomenal. And they started off quite well this season, 6-1 overall for the Gauchos. So, but Lisa Stuck. I'm going to also reach out to Regina Mannix, who was a setter at ASU and for the longest time had records at Arizona State, still held records for quite a long time. So, yes, she is still the head coach at Scottsdale Community College. And again, it's been a minute since I've talked to both coaches, but I've crossed paths with them at some high school games and as they're doing recruiting. So I'm going to try and reach out to them. Well, not try. I'm going to reach out to them, see if their schedules match up and get them on the show because – again, I mean, two players alone. And another one, Amanda Burbridge, who played locally at Chaparral High School and then played at Arizona State, coached at Phoenix College as well. Coach was back at ASU and is now coaching at O'Connor High School, coaching the girls volleyball team there. So, three alone, but yeah, in reaching out and, going to see if we can have them on talking some 50 years of ASU volleyball. And they were definitely all part of it. So yeah, all part of the history at different points of it. So yeah, it'll be cool to catch up with them, all of them, any one of the three of them. But yeah, just to hear, their journey. And obviously, like I said, it is a great sport right now. It is Memphis is up in the third set, 13-10, but still the Lady Devils are up 2-0 in the Beale Street Challenge. So Memphis has a new all just volleyball facility, which I do like the court and all, but I don't know. I think they needed to expand a little bit out for seating, but they'd have a lot of youngsters there today, which is really cool, supporting it. But yeah, Memphis up 13-10 in the third set. But yeah, 50th anniversary of volleyball at ASU. Again, started at 73 and going very strong here in 2023. So yeah, it's an exciting time, to say the least. But yeah, so next weekend, like I said, Thursday, Arizona, but Sunday they're going to honor a lot against Washington, the 50th anniversary celebrations on the schedule at Mullet Arena, first two at Mullet Arena. So, and I already told you guys that is an electric atmosphere. Very electric atmosphere. So, and even if that was just for the Maroon and Gold Challenge, but it will be it will be, I mean, I got to think very, very awesome, because there's gonna be a lot there. So I can't wait to be out there for that and talking to again some of the alum, hopefully catching up with, like I said, with a few next week, but then being out there Thursday and then Sunday for UW. It will be, again, very fun, electric. It'll be loud. Hopefully, a lot of the alumni bring their families. So yeah, it'll be a great time. And taking on UW, I mean, it's hey, at least they're finally home, though. I mean, it's 4 straight weeks. And you heard Coach Van Neal talking about it last week. Didn't have a schedule, obviously, didn't have a full team either. And so try to put something together here, reached out. Obviously, the years he's coached, the experience he had. He's had contacts, but with having schedules already made, it was tough. And he got his team into these tournaments as we know the closest one was, up in Flagstaff. We said I have to get on a plane last weekend. So, I mean, they started out all the way across country, Florida Gulf Coast, Fort Myers. Then they had the Borderland Invitational, which was co-hosted by UTEP and New Mexico State. So, between they're in Las Cruces. And El Paso, pardon me. But yeah, between Las Cruces and El Paso, again, not very far. And then going to Flagstaff and then going across the country again, like I said, to Memphis. But he had a lot to deal with, and he's got a team that's 9-0. Yes, they return their big hitter, like I talked about, Marta Levinska. And it's one of those things where you like it. I mean, being the Road Warriors, but I mean, to come home next week. So get out there. Obviously, like I said, Sunday, the 50th anniversary celebration, but Thursday, a Territorial Cup battle for points. And we want those, Sun Devil Nation. We want to get those points. So let's go. Let's crush it. Let's absolutely rock it. And then, like I said, celebrating the 50th anniversary team on firing up the to the 50th anniversary team, be fired up for that. But man, when you think about it, it is it is. I mean, when you think about all the history, like players that have come through, and like I said, talking about it, even when you first start a program, the first, people say, oh, the first 2 to 3 years, um, but when you look at it, like the first 10 years, I mean, you think of the first that, like, you get in, you start, yes, you want to have success. It's tough to recruit because, because yeah, teams are already winning. Teams are, um, um, so I mean, the first 10 years are so very tough. And when you look at it, it's, yeah, you're getting players in, and obviously it's one of those things where when you look at it, when you look at it from the standpoint of, yeah, when you look at it from the standpoint of, okay, can you get a getting a coach in, obviously getting players in, it's going to be tough, but to start that battling and getting some big wins. So yeah, I mean, even like the first like 10 years, but then from that benchmark on, you go forward, and now to obviously be at 50, which is just, crazy. But it'll be an exciting time to say the least. So again, it's next Thursday for U of A in Mullet Arena. So get out there, get loud, root against that team from down south, Sun Devil Nation. And yes, you haven't got to see this team this edition of the Sun Devils play live. Well, unless you're at the Moon and Gold scrimmage, but in a regular season matchup. And yeah, I mean, Marta Levinska, yes, we know about her. Shannon Shields transferred back. And again, as a setter, just runs such a smooth offense. And I mean, even, in high school, you can say, oh, teams more talented, but just as a setter to run the offense as coach wants for his system. But Shields doing a heck of a job on that. And then, like I said, you have Levinska up front. And I mean, even Julie Sear up front as well. I noticed that she was second on the team in kills. Mary Schroll at libero. I mean, playing that defense that you need. And it's and even Claire Jeter, I mean, who is a transfer from Texas A&M. Just how these transfers, and I talked about it last week, you and Coach Van Neal, like adapting, to each other, but just coming together as a group. And Claire Jeter has been a leader of the 6'3" middle blocker, has been a leader for the team, and even like Roberta Rebello, who is from Brazil, Porto Alegre, Brazil. But yes, little international flavor on this team, obviously with Levinska being from Latvia. But yeah, I mean, and just players they've come together. And to start out 9-0, again, no schedule or not. And in the third set, now they're trying to take it in 3. We get a timeout from Memphis, but the Devils are up 21-19. Again, looking to improve to 10-0 on the season. Absolutely phenomenal. So again, little live updates going on back and forth for you. But yeah, I mean, just this roster that he's assembled, and the fact that again, they're finally coming home. So, and definitely going to aim to have somebody from the volleyball team on next week as well, leading up to Arizona. And as we lead up to it, and so that will be very, again, 50 years, obviously, nothing to just kind of roll your eyes at, as they say. But no, it's it's an awesome group, and I am so very excited again for this team as they can look to stay unblemished, which is very, very hard to do in this sport. In any sport, yes, but in volleyball, it's, to me, it's one of those things where and when we look at the overall records right now of Pac-12 teams coming into today, I'm not going to, and they're playing all over the place, but Arizona State, Cal, both 9-0. Washington State, 9-1. Oregon, UCLA, and UW, 7-1. Colorado and Stanford, 6-2. Oregon State, 5-3. USC, 4-4. Utah, 4-5, and then Arizona at 3-5. So Arizona is playing Long Beach today. And let's see, UW has Cal Poly today. That's also on ESPN Plus, which this ASU Memphis match is right now, and it is 23-19 as ASU is up, and that's Jaden Ravensborg, who is was back to serve. Memphis got the kill there, though, and again, they've ever since that first set. I mean, it was 25-10, and everything went right. Levinska dropped a few aces. I mean, through two sets. Arizona State at 26 kills to Memphis's 21. Memphis had no aces. ASU had 5. Hitting percentage, huge for the Devils, 392 to 175 for Memphis. Digs, 25-19 in favor of ASU. Service errors, both teams had 5. And then blocks, Arizona State had 2. Memphis had 1 through 2 sets. So, but again, trying to win it in 3, up 23-21. And Memphis on serve. Memphis actually yep, so now it is set and match point. Shannon Shields, the lefty, going to go back and serve for 2 lefties on the team. Levinska's a lefty too. And when you're playing the right side, again, college players, they do their scouting. Coaches do their scouting. But when you hit on that right side, again, and you think a lefty, you want to be, thinking it's a right-handed hitter. Let me slide a little more outside. But that block, I mean, yeah, you want to be straight up, but maybe slide a little more inside because they're going to cut it inside you. And that's it. The Devils get the kill, get the win in 3, 25-10, 25-22, and 25-21. Forks up, Sun Devil Nation, as JJ Van Niel and his crew are 10-0. But yeah, they are 10-0. And but they have a player from Arizona on their team. I want to say she was from Coolidge. Yeah. Clara Bednarik, who is from Coolidge, transferred from Georgia State University, the 6'1" senior. So a little Arizona flavor there for Memphis as well. But 10-0 now for the Sun Devils, winning in 3. Like I said, 25-22 or 25-10. 25-22 and 25-21. So that is very huge for the Sun Devils. Again, they've only dropped, and in these 10 matches, they've only dropped 3 sets because they went through the FGCU Invitational without dropping a set. Then they dropped 1 set each in the Borderland Invitational to UTEP, San Francisco, New Mexico State. But then up at the Lumberjack Classic, dropped no sets to NAU, Boise State, or Stephen F. Austin, and did not drop a set to the Memphis Tigers. And they take that momentum tomorrow, 1 o'clock Mountain Standard Time here on locally, as they will take on Little Rock. But man, you look at it again, a lot going on. They can get to this at 12-0 coming in. And like I said, the Pac-12 standings, they're now 10-0. Cal is taking on Montana State tomorrow. That's who they're taking on. Washington State is at Texas tomorrow as well on the Longhorn Network. They beat Baylor 3-1 in their last game. So the Cougs taking on the Longhorns. Oregon's taking on Pitt. UCLA, real quick, they beat Hawaii in their last match. They're at Oklahoma tomorrow. Like I said, Washington taking on Cal Poly today. Colorado taking on Colorado State. Oh, just kind of like in football and volleyball, they're taking them on today. Stanford, who lost to Nebraska, is taking on Louisville. That's not until the 17th. That's going to be on ESPN2. That's a huge matchup. And again, Stanford's 6-2 right now. Nebraska has won some titles, so they lost in 4 to Nebraska. So anyway, but we're focused on Sun Devil Nation right here, who is taking on Little Rock next, and that is tomorrow. So, hey, very, very exciting. I'm going to take a quick break. We're going to reset. Again, you are checking me out live. You can check it out live on my Twitter at Diablo00 on Facebook, and subscribe. Last but definitely not least, please subscribe to the YouTube channel at it's MVC, M as in Michael, V as in Victor, C as in Carrotanudo. There, as you see, 005 on YouTube. So subscribe to the YouTube channel and get it there. And coming next week, we are going to be live on KSRN. We're very close to working out the technical kinks for me to go live. And yes, but coming next week on Monday, I'm putting it out there. It is a goal. We're going to aim, hopefully no setbacks, but you can go to casualsportswithaz.com, KAZUALSPORTZ.com. And when you get to the main page, you'll see it says download the app. You can download the app. You're out and about driving Sun Devil Nation. When we start doing the show on the road, want to know where we're going to be, you can come out and hang out, be part of it, grab some lunch, all that good stuff. So we will be doing that, but you can download the app, KSRN, Casual Sports with a Z.com, and now you'll have no excuse to miss any of Pitchfork Lunch, which is absolutely phenomenal. So, yeah, we're going to step aside real quick. When I get back, we're going to shift gears, talk a little football, and, again, this matchup with Fresno State coming up Saturday night at 7:30 at Mountain America Stadium, Frank Cush Field, home of the Sun Devils. It'll be rocking. More coming up here on Pitchfork Lunch. Oh, yes, back here on Pitchfork Lunch. Again, don't forget, every Monday night, 10 o'clock Eastern, you can check out the Sports Arena, the creator, the mad genius, Eric Wilson, myself, Ray Lynn, John Shear, Megan Price, the big guard at Tyree. Yeah, pull up. Yeah, you heard me here on Pitchfork Lunch. But I am Michael Carragher, at Diablo00 on Twitter. Hit me up there if you have any, thoughts. You want to chat a little bit. A little debate. Let's we can have banter. We can trash talk. We can go back and forth. Have a little fun with it. And we get, like I said, we have a little bit of fun with it. And it's one of those things where, if you, like I said, doesn't have to get, violent, even from the school down south. Like, yeah, we'll banter, we'll go back and forth. We're both headed to the Big 12, all that good stuff. So, I mean, yeah, it's like I said, let's have fun with it. But Sun Devil Nation, I mean, come with it. Bring the energy, bring the facts, all that good stuff, and we'll go from there. But all I can say is it is an exciting year in Sun Devil Nation. Again, as we're in football season, was out yesterday at the Final Four community kickoff out front of Desert Financial Arena. We talked to Coach Hurley. For those of you that missed it, depending on scheduling tomorrow, I'm not going to give it away anymore. Might have a little surprise for you, but depending on scheduling tomorrow and time limit, I'll replay the interview from Coach Hurley because, again, Final Four is huge. It's here this year, 2024. Bam. In Glendale. where it was last time, but obviously ASU being the host school, we could have two teams. We could have two teams there. I mean, it'd be crazy, even three, Grand Canyon, and if NAU made the tournament. I mean, yeah, if that happens, man, if that does happen, say ASU, U of A, Grand Canyon, and NAU were all in the Final Four. I'm playing the lottery the next day, or I'm going to a casino and laying massive bets. I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. But yeah, no. I mean, the likelihood of that, yes, crazy. But I mean, even if one of the schools gets there, or I mean, say you were to get both ASU and U of A. I mean, it's people say, oh, pipe dreams. Well, pipe dreams happen, So it is a crazy long shot. But it is one of those things that when you look at it from the standpoint of the effect it has on recruiting. I talked a little bit about it yesterday. I'm going to get to football, but the effect it has on recruiting and knowing that you'll be the host of a Final Four site, it's pretty huge. It is beyond huge. So again, the excitement there, for the Final Four and the hoops program. But like I said, we got a little football going on as ASU taking on Fresno State, 7:30, and the third of 4 opening home games for the Sun Devils. Conference play starts next week, baby, and guess what? You want to go in with a win, but it is pretty tough. Fresno State is on an 11-game win streak, like I mentioned, and Jeff Tedford, I shared Tim Healy's fun fact about Tedford. I want to say him being 9-2 against ASU, and I want to say his time at Cal. 9-2. And the 2 times he lost was when ASU had a new coach come in. So it was to Dennis Erickson, and then when Todd Graham got hired, the Sun Devils were able to beat him. So, I mean, he's at Fresno State. They're not in the same conference, obviously, but just a kind of crazy numbers fact. So, and yes, we'll definitely have the voice of the Sun Devils on at some point. Tim Healy, talk about some of that, but yeah, we'll see if when it does. But Fresno State, like I said, 11-game win streak right now. They won 9 in a row to close out last season, including their bowl game against Washington State and the Jimmy Kimmel LA Bowl. And then their first 2 this year, they went to West Lafayette and beat Purdue 39-35. And then turn around and won 34-31 over, I can tell you, they won 34-31 over Eastern Washington. Pardon me. Sorry about that. I knew it was a Washington school, but I obviously knew it wasn't UW. But UW going to take on Michigan State this week, so that's a big one. That being said, but when we look at what they are right now. I mean, just statistics. And yes, it's been 2 games, but they are number 2 in the Mountain West with 425.5 yards a game. I'm just going to do conference first, right? In passing yards, 302 yards a game. Rushing, they are, well, they're 9th with 123.5 yards a game, 3 rushing touchdowns. But, I mean, that's offensively. Okay. Now, when we look defensively, they are 5th. They're giving up yards, 364.5 yards a game. And then points allowed, they are 8th. As they are giving up, they're giving up 33 points a game. So they are giving up the points. That being said, like I told you, they are scoring well, they have yards a game, but they're averaging 37 points a game right now through 2 games. So, but they're giving up 33. So, I mean, they can be had yards wise. I mean, they're giving up chunk yardage. As for sacks right now, well, they have 1 sack on the season, so they are tied for 11th. So not getting a ton of pressure on the quarterback. Good news, Sun Devil Nation, if you're a Sun Devil fan. Pardon me. But now when you look player-wise, though, Mikey Keene, their quarterback, this young man has thrown for 599 yards and in 2 games. So, you know, just about averaging 300 yards a game through the air. Elijah Gilliam is 4th in the Mountain West with 179 total receiving yards in 2 games or rushing. I'm sorry. He's got Elijah Gilliam. That's rushing. There's 179 rushing yards in 2 games. Eric Brooks, their top receiver, 265 yards receiving through 2 games. So looking at 32.5 yards a game so far for Brooks. So look, they're going to lean on that offense. Well, Lavelle Bailey has Fresno State's. He's the lone sack artist or lone player with a sack for Fresno State. He's got their 1 sack. So through 2 games there. But, yeah, I mean, you look at, you know, like I said, Eric Brooks, 265 yards, 2nd in the Mountain West. And then Jalen Gill has 105 yards. He's 11th, and he's 2nd on the team in receiving. So he does have 1 touchdown. Oh, for Brooks, he does have 3 touchdowns, by the way. So, again, a lot of the focus will be on Brooks, and rightfully so. But, yeah, I mean, if you're you know, defensively for Coach Ward and, you know, it's a team that it's going to be hard to get to Mikey Keene. I mean, that's very understandable because they focus on getting the ball out so quick. And, you know, that's why as a coach, you always preach and you can hear them, you know, reading the keys is huge, but staying in lanes. If you're in a certain defense, and like I said yesterday, Chris Edmonds, listened to him talk after practice, talking about how, not getting dirty eyes, yes, but the fact that he wants to get rid of the ball. If you're in a spot, you see, a formation, you're communicating, go to where you're supposed to go to on the snap. Stay in that lane because of the tendencies they've shown. Yes, these 2 games, again, not huge body work, but Coach Tedford was there last year. So just kind of tendencies that you see. And for Edmonds to talk about that, and even talking to Clayton Smith saying it's going to be a little bit of, a challenge to get there. But that defensive line, I mean, what BJ Green did last week, and Clayton Smith, and like I said, Tristan Monday, Prince Dobra that were out there. I mean, there's a lot. There's a solid rotation. And I mean, CJ Fight, coming off of missing the first game, and he was banged up, and now he back on the field. And as a true freshman, I mean, it looked good in spring. You saw the growth in fall camp till he got banged up. And then, but back on the field last week, played in the snaps he played a pretty solid game against that huge Oklahoma State line. So look, defensively, about disciplining, I mean, Coach Ward talks about, but if you can do that, if you can cover for a teeny bit longer and make Mikey Keene hold on to the ball, by the way, from Chandler, Arizona, he was, I want to say he played at Chandler High School. But yes, forgot to mention that. Another local kid, Coach Dillingham has a lot of respect for. But yeah, I mean, can get rid of the ball, obviously accurate, and obviously very accurate. But it's again, he can, like I said, 599 yards, 6 touchdowns, 2 interceptions through 2 games. So again, not really an affinity to turn the ball over, but this sophomore, man, just looking good. And he is going to have his hands full because his secondary, like I said, is experience. I mean, when you have a guy like a Roe Torrance out at corner, you have, Jordan Clark, who's been through it. And like I said, Chris Edmonds as well too. Like it's just, and at the corner, I mean, they're getting such solid play, and they're developing depth there too, is Coach Ward on defense. So I am very excited for the game. But yeah, I mean, Mikey Keene, look, he's going to be looking for Eric Brooks. Can they shut down? I mean, Elijah Gilliam through 2 games, not basically 90 yards a game, but they get rid of the ball quick. It is a pass happy offense. You need to keep in your lanes. And like I said, defensively, this ASU team, I mean, across like the line, I mean, I didn't mention Deshaun Mallory. And, it's one of those things where for Coach Dillingham, but for Coach Ward, you can get guys you can get guys in the right place. And yeah, I said, I mean, Deshaun Mallory looking good. Garen Stansberry as well, too. I mean, I was just talking about Clayton Smith, what he can do on the outside. Demetrius Ford at corner as well. Like I said, you get Chris Edmonds, Mason Williams, too. And then The freshman that we talked to, and Keith Abney, the second, just he, as a true freshman, just seeing the growth and what he can do. So yeah, I mean, if he's out there and spelling somebody, Ed Woods as well in that secondary, like they have a secondary that within this Brian Ward defensive attacking system can cause Fresno State headaches. But again, getting rid of the ball quick, you have to be disciplined. You can't get dirty eyes. Yes, there's going to be motion and shifting and movement. So you can't develop those and leave it wide open. So that that is obviously a very, very big part to it. And the linebackers. I mean, you think about Trey Brown, who we talked to, and it's just that communication, the chemistry, and even talking to Will Schaefer. And actually I will play that tomorrow too. Got to catch up with Will Schaefer and just his, how he's, if they're out there, they're making plays. And that's one thing that Coach Cooper, I mean, linebacker wise, said, like, in, coaching them up and developing them, but guys are out there, and he goes, they're out there, they're going to be making plays. So yeah, I mean, look, that's just absolutely huge. Absolutely huge. And that is the craziness of the matchup there. Also in special teams, Elijah Badger on kickoffs. Woo. Yeah, I don't see too many people kicking to him. I really don't. I really do not see too many people kicking to him, trying to kick it through the end zone. If they do, beware. And on punt returns, I mean, Melquan Stovall has been getting the majority of the punt returns. I've seen Javen Jacobs back there as well, returning punts, and Gio Sanders. So he, in spot times last year, did return, but Melquan Stovall, man, not only is his catch radius phenomenal, but special teams wise, catching the punts, giving the team good field position when he doesn't have to call for a fair catch. Because let's be honest, these punters, I mean, are putting them 40, 45, 50 yards downfield, but the hang time there, yeah, you get it to hang around 4.5, 5 seconds, and you're going to have a lot of guys down there ready to cover. So forcing into fair catch calls. But hey, nonetheless, that when you look at that, but for defense to get stops, turn it over to those, put it in those playmakers' hands. Absolutely awesome. So looking forward. I mean, again, the ASU defense can have to show out, and and Clayton Smith kind of talked about that, about as the offense finds their footing and keeps growing, and putting a drive together, multiple first downs, putting scoring drives together, as they grow in, can the defense be the face of the team and carry it? And he was saying, yeah, we got to pick them up. They're growing, they're doing their thing. But as their defense, he's like, that's our job. We need to shut it down. We need to play at that level. And again, just hearing Coach Ward talk and how he coaches and being around him, like it's like I said, I'll aim during the season, because obviously during the season, not impossible, but a little tough. But to have him come on the show, if I can record something with Coach Ward, or have him come on live from there. But either way, have him come on. When he talks, again, you'll see it, because he just has that absolute, like, you can just coaching defense. Like, yeah, you have to have that fire, that passion and everything, but he can definitely, if you can't get fired up playing for him, and people say, say about a lot of coaches. No, there are coaches that are really good coaches, and I'm not saying they have to be rah-rah in your face, but they're really good coaches. They get the game. It's just, they might not have that little tick in that way, but they can find ways to motivate a team. In talking to him, he can find ways, but it's just, his style, his demeanor is, you can, whatever you want to say, cadence, but just like what he wants to get done on defense, how he can get it done, and it is fun for the D line. I mean, D line usually and the word fun might not go together. You're thinking, Michael, you're absolutely insane. But it is fun because of the way he wants his ends to play, because normally you won't think of fun as you're getting, beat on by, like I said, 290, 300-pound offensive linemen, right? Just trying to beat on you every play, and you trying to not take as much of that beating, get to the quarterback, not running around, but, going through, yes, getting around, but, using your technique and form. But Coach Ward, just, yeah, you definitely get it when you hear him, and will bring him to you at some point this season, and see, we go from there. But yeah, it is Thursday. It is kickoff at 7:30 Saturday night at Mountain America Stadium. See, I'm doing good because the first few things on, X, formerly known as Twitter, I kept saying, "Oh, Sun Devil Stadium." It's been a pretty long time habit. So again, as you know, a name changes like that, not after, if it was like, a year, 2 years, okay, it shouldn't be an excuse. But yeah, for a lifetime of it, basically, yeah, it's tough. But Mountain America Stadium, home of the Sun Devils, and yes, but 7:30 Saturday, and tomorrow, like I said, we'll see what we'll get into the offense. By the way, we'll get into the offense, and offensive matchups, but I will play the sound too from my interview with Will Schaefer, and we'll have that as well as we preview the game. And obviously, because like I said, the volleyball team plays Little Rock at the 10-0 volleyball team. Yeah, plays Little Rock at 1 o'clock. So that will actually be starting as we end the show tomorrow. So that being said, but yeah, just a reminder that we'll be playing Little Rock. So I'll remind you to, get online, check that out, all that good stuff tomorrow. And they have Little Rock at 1 o'clock local time. And Saturday, though, reminder, they play Southern Miss at 8 o'clock local time. So, yeah, get up early, have breakfast with the volleyball team. Again, they deserve your support, and they could be going for 12-0 at that time. So, first things first, though, they got Little Rock tomorrow at 1 o'clock. But again, thank you for checking this out as we came to you, like I said, live on YouTube. Subscribe to my YouTube, MVC, M as in Michael, V as in Victory, C005 on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. Again, it'll be live every day on Twitter at Diablo00, my Facebook. You can check it out live there. And yes, next week, aiming. Earl and I are working hard on KSRN. So you'll be able to hear Pitchfork Lunch everywhere you go. And but log on to casualsportswithaz.com, KAZUALSPORTZ.com. When you see it on the homepage right there, it'll say download the app. Download the app. There's phenomenal programming along with Pitchfork Lunch coming to it, but a lot of phenomenal programming, and you can check it all out. You can take it with you everywhere. Like I said, when we take the show on the road, you'll say, hey, they're here. Come get lunch there, and we will rock from there. So again, everybody, go to casualsportswithaz.com, KAZUALSPORTZ.com. Download it. Again, follow me on Twitter at Diablo00. You can check it live there, but subscribe to the YouTube channel, M as in Michael, V as in Victory, C005 on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. Yeah, let's go. Let's get them, Devils. Congrats to volleyball, 10-0. Oh, soccer, by the way, don't forget, tomorrow they wrap up non-conference play against Colorado College at 7 p.m. So I'm going to get out of here. Everybody have a great rest of your Thursday. And yes, you guys know, as always, forks up. Forks up.
Cherry's three. Johnny Walker matching up against control. His shot. Bruce score. They score. They tie the game up 2-2. Some drives out for Robbie Ryan. Her three right on the money. This is Thea Hansen for three. Other side of the rim with a pretty reverse. Wow. 5 seconds to go. Find Hawk.